We're going to watch Jayson Tatum tear his Achilles here. He passes the ball and then he tries to push off his right foot. And I promise you, he either felt a pop or he heard a pop. This is not an uncommon symptom. Is you will, most people who tear their Achilles completely, they will feel like somebody shot them in the back of the calf. And that's because there's so much tension in the Achilles that once it completely tears off, it will feel like a gunshot, or it'll sound like a gunshot, and it'll feel like somebody shot you in the back of the calf. And he doesn't immediately feel the pain just because he most likely was a ton of adrenaline and he doesn't know what happens to him. Like he is just in shock. But then as reality starts to sink in, it, I promise you, starts to really hurt. And what's probably happening also is it's probably starting to swell right now. He pushes off. This is what we call dorsiflexion. And he immediately knows there's something wrong. Push and then bam. He probably also felt like it gave out. So unfortunately, as we already know, he has a Achilles tendon tear. There's a difference between a calf tear and a tendon tear. The calf is a muscle strain. Like if you have a calf tear, it's like in the actual muscle. In the tendon, it means like the complete tendon is completely torn off. For him, as we've heard in reports, he had a complete torn tendon there. What most likely will happen with Jayson is that they'll take a couple of days to consult with a bunch of orthopedic surgeons. They'll do some imaging. They'll figure out where the tear is, and then they'll create strategies around what the surgery is going to look like. But for unfortunately for the Celtics fans, I do not expect Jayson Tatum to come back for at least a full year. I would be surprised if he comes back within the year. I know that there are examples of people coming back a little bit sooner, like Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron did come back in a crazy amount of time, and he has a crazy group around him, and he's also an insane athlete. That I would tell you, I don't know the ins and outs of what his training was. I didn't know what his physical therapy was, but that is honestly the outlier. The more consistent situation is that you will spend at least a year rehabbing. And the only other example in the NBA that is most notable is KD. KD had that Achilles. But the issue is like he when he was playing um, over the first Achilles tear, he came back too early in the Toronto series. He was playing lights out for the first three quarters, and then in that third quarter, he went to take a jump shot and he re-injured it, and that was because he came back too early. Now, I don't to what happened to Jayson Tatum's Achilles, like how it came to be. I don't know how that came to be. He looks like he's a well-conditioned guy. I don't know what his strength and conditioning is like. I don't know what his physical therapy is like. I don't know what his nutrition is like. I just know that on the back end, the rehab for this is extensive. It's super painful. And oftentimes, you're never the same after it. It's really a hard injury to come back from. It does end a lot of people's careers. We do have such great physical therapy. We know so much more about the body than we did 10 years ago. But I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Look at what Aaron looks like. Look what KD looks like. They're just not back to the same players as they used to be, and that a little bit of that is obviously age and how long they've been in the league and all these other variables. But it's something that you want to avoid at all costs, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a different episode of what you can do to help avoid a situation in which you tear your Achilles. because you actually absolutely do not want to tear your Achilles tendon.